Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, and that means it's time for our parenting postcard. And this session is aimed very much at our parents and our carers rather than the children. And I'm sat here in my living room, just chilling. I've been doing some crochet, and to be honest, I've had quite a couple of frustrating days. And I don't know how your week has been, whether or not it's been full of fun or frustration. But I know life is tough, and I think lockdown, it provides lots and lots of challenges. And I think this next postcard probably hits home for an awful lot of us. So I want to share quite a lot from my heart today. So it may not necessarily be brilliant for your kids, but you know, in the long run, it's really good for them to know. And I always say, a happy family is, if there's a happy mum and a happy dad, it leads to a happy family. And that's why, just to reiterate what we said in that first session about putting your oxygen mask on, and before you put that on your child, that looking after you yourself is so important. And I just really want to start with that. And it's really interesting, the timing of these sessions, because a lot of churches are online at this time, and I did wonder, you know, should we put it on as a different time so people can go online to a church service? You know, a lot of you I know don't go to any church. A lot of you are fantastic folks from different faiths, Hindus, Muslims, what have you. And I just really appreciate the diversity of Daniel's Den, and it's just great. But Daniel's Den is a Christian charity, and that's our foundations. And a lot of what we do and a lot of what we share comes from that foundation. And our postcard today is talking about the power of words. And it says, be careful what you say in front of your child. They do hear and understand more than you think. Now, that's a scary thing, isn't it? That our kids hear what we say. And why is it they often hear the things we don't want them to hear, and yet they seem deaf to the things we want to say? I just find that incredible, how you say one negative thing and they pick up on it, and then, you know, you can say lots and lots of good things and they just don't seem to understand it. But there is power in our words. And I'm going to just share a little bit about a couple of negative words that have been spoken over my life that you might be really shocked about. Now, some really good people have said some really negative things to me, and their motives, it's been quite interesting. There's been quite a few people who've said negative things about Funny Bunny. Can you believe that? But I understand not everybody gets having something like Funny Bunny or a cuddly toy. I remember somebody once said to me, oh, I don't really understand cuddly toys and things like that. I don't think it's real. And I know what they were saying, but you know, sometimes God uses amazing things. And in Daniel's Den Live, Funny Bunny has been fantastic, and he has such a following. And I could have easily listened to those words and put him away and never used them again. And you know, sometimes you've got to trust your instincts, and I think that's really important. I've even had negative words said about Daniel's Den and about myself, and lots of people have misunderstood it and had quite a lot of negativity or words not being said. And I think sometimes that lack of encouragement can be a really challenging time to keep going with things. But I've learned not to rely on the words of others. And that's where, for me as a Christian, I've been hearing what God has been saying. But also, I have had to make those decisions to find people in my life who encourage me. And it's not people who go, yes, everything you do is perfect. I know that everything that we do is not perfect. And Daniel's Den has developed over the years because people have been brave enough to speak words, positive, and also that constructive criticism. And I think that's where the power of words is really important. And we all need people in our lives who are our cheerleaders. I'm talking to you as a parent, as an adult. Who are the energy givers in your life? Who are the people that you turn to, that when you've had that conversation with them, you feel that was good? And you know, Daniel's Den, that is, and it's at the back of this card, I'm going to skip to it. It says, we try to create a positive atmosphere by the words we use. that we want anybody who comes into contact with Daniel's Den to hear a word of encouragement or affirmation that you're doing a good job. And we don't want that just to be trite or just say it for saying its sake. We want to be genuine and authentic in what we say. And I want to ask you today, who speaks positive things over your life? Have you got those people in your life? If you've not, then encourage them. And be quite open with people about that. Maybe your partner, your husband, your wife, your parents, your friends. Who have you got that says positive words over your life, and who also will bring that correction if needed, or encouragement, or that challenging word, which I think, again, we all need to hear those sort of things. And this postcard is really great. And I want to say it again, be careful what you say in front of your child. They do hear and understand more than you think. Catch them doing something good and tell them, that was kind of you to share your toys. Well done for eating everything on your plate. And I just think these specific words are really, really important. And it says, be careful about labelling. Now, this is something that I know it's so easy to do. Oh, my child is a naughty child. Oh, they're this, they're that, the other. Even I say it about my children sometimes, and feel bad when I say it, oh, they're a bit of a pain. Or I think my classic about my youngest daughter is I say she's a drama queen, which she is, but she's really into drama. But you've got to be careful about how we label our children. So instead of saying that was a naughty, you're a naughty boy or a naughty girl, we say that was a naughty thing to do. And it's to focus on the action and not on the child. So we have got to be careful with the language that we use. And I'm just laughing because one of our lovely volunteers, Linda, has just said you. And I think she's got a feeling that maybe I'm one of those people that speaks into her life. And I consider it an absolute privilege to lead Daniel's Den, to be able to speak into people's lives. And it's something we really want to do more and more. And that's why Joan and I wrote these postcards. We're not just speaking a theory, we're speaking something that we've lived. And that's one thing about Daniel's Den. We want it to be real and authentic and be a message that we live day in, day out. So on the back of our card, it gives us some things to think about. And I have been thinking about this when I read it. And it said, when did you last praise your child? Now, I don't know how old your children are, but yesterday my mum praised me, and it almost made me cry because she rang me up, actually, because I always ring her on a Saturday morning, but I was having a bit of a lie and she rang me, so this was quite unusual. And I just said, oh, I'm feeling really exhausted. And she said, look, she said, I told you need to listen to your body. It's really, really important. She says, because you're a very precious person and people need you and they need to hear what you're saying. My gosh, my mum, who's nearly 80, said that to me. And my mum, she struggles quite a lot sometimes with mental health issues. But gosh, that really impacted me when she said that. The world needs you and you need to look after yourself. And it was just the words that I needed to hear, and it came from my mum. So thank you, Mum, for sharing that with me. And we do need to listen to what people are saying and to slow down. And so when did you last praise your child? I get challenged about this all the time with my children, and my daughter yesterday made some incredible lentil soup, and so I'm out there with the praise. And she had a chat with her sister about 10 days ago, and something happened in that conversation that has really changed their relationship. And I just say thank you to my daughter. Thank you so much for sharing. I don't know what you shared, but be specific in our praise for our children, no matter how old they are or how young they are. It says something to do. Try to use some words of encouragement to your child every day. Catch them doing something good and tell them. Now, I've got no idea what's going on in your house, but I do keep saying to people, oh, I'm so glad I haven't got 3 under 5s, which I did have at some point. And I keep thinking, my gosh, what would my life be like if my children were that age? now sort of not being able to get out. Praise God, I've got a garden, which is a great thing. But it was something that I've always tried to do with my children, is to catch them doing something good and tell them. And it's so easy, isn't it, to just see the mess, or the fact they've not eaten everything off their plate, or they've spilt that drink, or they've done something, and to tell them off. I think, we seem to want this little perfect world. And again, this card sort of gives you permission to take a little bit of the slack. Just don't be on them about everything, but try and find something good what they're doing. And it says, say what you mean and mean what you say. Now, I can't think what it was that was said, and I should have thought of this before I read that from the card. But, have we been watching? Oh my gosh, we've been watching Outnumbered. Is it Outnumbered? My gosh, that is such a brilliant TV series about children. I keep thinking, my daughter keeps saying to me, Mum, which one am I in that programme? And I'm like, oh God, it could be all of them all at the same time. And am I like those parents? And, if we say something to our children, we have to be able to follow it through. If you do that again, and I always talk about Finding Nemo with little Nemo, when the dad says, don't touch the boat. And my daughter and I were watching that film. I kept saying, you've always reminded me of little Nemo. When the dad says, don't do that, he has to do it. And sometimes we want to push our parents to the limit, don't we? And sometimes we're a little bit too harsh on our children. So again, there is no right or wrong answer to this. But I do think we need to think about the words that we are speaking in our homes and to our children. And the last thing on here that says, don't be afraid to say sorry to your children. Now, this week I was chatting to a member of my family, and they were going, how's things? And I was sort of saying about my youngest, well, she's sleeping a lot and not doing particular things. And when I'd finished, my daughter, when the conversation finished, she goes, Mum, I heard every word you said. I felt so bad. And as I was thinking about that, and I'm going to be really honest with you now, that sometimes we try to mould our children into a version of ourselves, of what we think we should be. Sort of do as I say, not as I do. And I was sharing this with my mum, because my mum started, is she doing this? Or she could be doing that. And I went, Mum, stop. Don't force my children to be something that you think they should be, or what I think they should be. Yes, we can encourage, but we have to encourage the uniqueness of our children. We are there to guide and to give guidelines and everything, but let's just think about the power of our words and to tune into our children. And I did say sorry to my Iana, I did, because I recognise, and again, it's really, as they say, when you get older, and if you haven't got children, then when you have children, you feel your mother coming out of your mouth, that's saying things that you're thinking, I would never say that to my children. And I'm sure that you have had that experience when things have come out of your mouth and you're thinking, I cannot believe I've just said that. That sounds so like my mum. And that takes me right back to the beginning about that thing about negative things. That who are you encouraging in your life? How are you encouraging your children? But who else are you encouraging? And we need to be encouragers. I think it's such an important role. There's a guy in the Bible called Barnabas who was known as the encourager. And at Daniel's Den, I guess that's one of our legacies that we would like to have, that people think that they've been encouraged in their time at Daniel's Den. So that's what this card is about, the power of words. That I know actions speak louder than words, but we want our message to be something that builds people up and doesn't tear them down. So that's our parenting postcard number 5, the power of words. And let's see what's going to happen next week. So I pray you have a good day. It's a Sunday. Have a day of rest, and try and find those children doing something good and tell them what it is. So thank you and bye. Bye.